Precious Metal Summit 2017 here in Zurich. Ladies and gentlemen, Commodity-TV, welcome and wonderful good morning. And with me here is for the first time Atico Mining out of Colombia, a copper gold producer. And Fernando Ganoza, the CEO, wants to give us an insight into his terrific company. Fernando, good morning, welcome.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you here. And Atico Mining, what's the company about? You work in Colombia producing copper and the world needs copper.
Exactly. So Atico is a company formed by the Ganoza family, the same group that formed Fortuna Silver Mines. We are the largest shareholder of the company with 18%. And we have a very nice high-grade copper and gold VMS in Colombia. And there are three key things to remember about the roble. The first one, it's operating and generating cash. The second one is open along strike and at depth, so there's opportunity to find more resource. And the third one, this is a VMS at the center of a large land package of 6,600 hectares that we control. We've been exploring for the past 5 years, and we think it's very prospective to host other VMSs.
Aha, okay, so that means there's a good chance to host other structures, but also maybe other metals?
Absolutely, as well.
Okay, which metals you think of?
Well, VMSs can come in different flavors, if you will. You can have zinc, of course, which is also in favor.
Yeah, we like zinc.
But we do like copper and gold very much as well.
So do I. Definitely. Maybe you can give us a short view on the copper market, because you are a producer, you must have your own thinking on that.
Well, I do subscribe to the idea that we are heading towards a short of inventories at some point. Hard to tell when exactly that is going to come, but I do think that we're heading towards that way.
Yeah, and surely for the, let's say, for the sake of the e-mobility, growing, this is not like a trend, this is a new thing, I would call it. I mean, e-cars need more and more and more copper. So the demand will rise, not fall, right?
That certainly looks like the case from where we're standing right now. So demand is looking good, supply is not looking so good in the coming years. So there you go, you can do the math.
Perfect. Okay, let's dive into your mine. What was production 2017? What AIC have you had? Please elaborate a bit about the business here.
For 2017, we are projecting 18 million pounds of copper and 11,000 ounces of gold. For 2018, we are projecting 20 million pounds of copper and again 11,000 ounces of gold. So we're now at a steady state production and investing in all the exploration potential. And the business model we're taking is, as soon as we find more resources, we keep expanding the mill, which has capacity to be expanded.
And what is the capacity today? What you are using of the capacity?
So we are at 850 tons per day. It's an underground mine, and we have capacity to go beyond 2,000 tons per day, and that is the plan, to increase resources and keep increasing the mill until we go beyond 2,000 tons per day.
So the plan is like to 2.5 times bring up the production in the future then?
Correct, that is the plan.
Fantastic. What cost basis do you have for the all-in costs per pound of copper equivalent?
So our all-in sustaining cash cost for this year should be around $1.80.
180?
180.
Wow,
between
that's a nice
180
margin.
and 185 per pound of copper net of byproducts. So it is a nice margin with today's prices for sure.
Absolutely, great. And I mean, to have gold as a waste product, I think that helps also a lot.
It's very nice to have that kind of byproduct.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
Course.
What is the let's say, what was the head grade this year you have run your mill?
Absolutely. So about 3.8% copper and 2.2 grams per ton of gold. That's what we're putting into the mill. So it's a high grade ore.
That's really high grade. And you are open pit or underground?
Underground.
Underground. Okay. To what depths you are now mining?
About 250 meters below the surface.
Well, that's very shallow.
I know.
Okay, super. And I presume you are open, of course, on strike, but you're probably also open to the depths, right?
Yes, in both directions. We still don't know the limits of the deposit, which is very good because it brings opportunity to find more resource and then again keep expanding the mill.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's say game plan for 2018. I'm pretty sure you want to do much more underground exploration, of course. What is the budget for that?
So next year we're going to be spending between 3.5 and 4 million in exploration outside the Roble mine, looking for other VMSs. And at the mine we're going to be spending about 1.5 million in looking for the continuation of mineralization.
Fantastic. What is, let's say, the sustaining capex you plan for next year for the mine?
For next year, we're going to be spending about between 4 and 5 million. We're still working on the budget, but it's going to be around those two numbers.
Fantastic. And as you said, you plan to produce approximately 20 million pounds, of copper and approximately the same.
About 11,000 ounces of gold.
So that means to me like 20 million. Let's do the math. You have $1.80 cost, $3.15. Let's put it that way. $3.10 we are. That's 130. So that's $26 million at least of free cash flow, I would call it.
And you have to subtract the sustaining capital.
Exactly, that's what I meant, but still you can generate a nice real profit, net profit.
Absolutely. And as substantial free cash flow, then we're using to expand the resources as well.
Okay, fantastic. As you said, the capacity can be much, much higher for the mill. Let's put it that way. If we think about the bigger, longer-term picture, let's say 2020 and beyond, can you imagine that you can enlarge the whole project, let's say with a second mill, for example, to go up to 3,500, 4,000 tons maybe?
That is perfectly possible. It depends on the success we have with exploration, which is why we're investing so much from last year on in finding another VMS. If we find another VMS, we can either feed the El Roble mill, or we can build a new processing facility. So that will be a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's a luxury problem.
And yes, of course, in the area we can have over 4,000 tons per day. It's perfectly possible as long as we're successful with the exploration.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. Let's talk about a little bit more about numbers. Do you have any debt on the balance sheet? What is the cash on the balance sheet? Meaning, are you in, let's say, a healthy position cash-wise?
Yes, we are in a healthy position. The balance sheet has never been stronger as it is today. We still have, by year end, we're going to have a 2.5 million facilities, a long-term facility with the off-taker. By June of next year, we're going to be debt-free. So we have accelerated the repayment of that debt. So yes, I think we're in a very good position with the cash we're generating, a very few long-term debt on the balance sheet. I think we're in a healthy position.
Oh, I like that. That's fantastic. Longer term, could you imagine, let's say, aside all your investments you plan, or let's say, aside to grow the company, that you pay a dividend because you are a large shareholder? You should be rewarded.
I should, right? Yes, that's a possibility. We have a lot of expansion plans, so we have a lot of places where we can have a good use of capital allocation that will be accretive for shareholders, but a dividend in the future is not out of the question at all.
Super, because we Germans and Swiss people, we love dividends.
I do know.
Especially in the 0% interest world. All right, then, thank you very much for this update here, and all the best, and of course, please keep it going, expand it, and you are definitely in the right metals. Copper is for e-cars, gold is for security. That's fantastic.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Atico Mining Fernando Ganoza, the CEO of the company. And you heard it, the company is profitable, producing copper and gold. And those are the metals we really like, of course. You know that. $1.80 AISC. Today, copper is at $3.10. So very healthy margin. They want to go up from 18 million pounds of copper to 20 million next year, staying with 11,000 ounces of gold approximately. So check out the company. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Zurich.